Hello, everyone. This is Matthew from Beyond the Bookshelf, and I want to welcome you to what I hope is going to become a new trend or part of the publication. And this is Charting January. So each month I've decided I'm going to hop on the video and just kind of tell you a little bit about what's coming up, what's going on, and just share with you some things that are happening in my life. Uh, Not a professional videographer, not using any fancy software. So this is just turning on a camera and turning on a microphone and recording and hoping for the best. And so what you see is what you get. What's happening in January? I'm turning 48 in a few days, and my son and I share a birthday, so he'll be turning 22 at the same time. It's been a great blessing to share a birthday with my son, and we always try to do something fun. We usually go out for a steak dinner or something along those lines. As I'm recording this, my family is in South America visiting with my wife's family. I unfortunately had to stay home to take care of some medical appointments and other things, but they'll be returning in a couple days. And so I'm looking forward to them getting back, and we'll be able to celebrate our holidays together and birthday. So a few things I wanted to announce as I get started for January. First of all, I have a couple of giveaways that I'm going to do, and I've been buying, books all the time for a long time, and my book of the year, I usually give away some copies to those who subscribe at my top tier. I also like to give away some free copies if I'm able to. And then I just have a couple of other books as well. There's going to be a paragraph in this article that goes out that will have a link to some of the other articles I've written about these books and telling you why they're my book of the year. I like these books, different things along those lines. If you're interested in being considered for these giveaways, then what I'd like you to do is either reply in the comments with your name and the title of the book that you want, or you can send me an email with your name and the title of the book that you want. And you can select multiple books if you want to. You can select all three if you desire. But then I'll put the names into a random name generator, and we'll do a drawing and we'll give away some books. So the first one that I have is The Requisitions by Samuel Lopez Brontes. Met Samuel here on Substack a couple of years ago. This was my book of the year for 2024. I bought a bunch of these and have given them away. This is the last copy that I have other than my own personal copy. And so got this one to give away. Really excellent book about World War II, written in a metafictional style. And if you'd like to know more about it, you can read the article that I linked to in this week's, or in this essay. So, The Requisitions by Samuel Lopez Brontes is the first giveaway. Then this year's book of the year was Exogenesis by Peko Gaskowski. I also met Peko and his wife, Ruth, through Substack, and have become friends with them. We've exchanged letters. They are trusted voices. I always value what they have to say. They've got a lot of wisdom and appreciate. They've been very vocal and in a positive way, talking about life in the age of the machine, and what that means and how it impacts families and culture and all of those things. So this is an excellent book. Please do read my review of it. I was very fortunate. Ignatius Press gave me 3 copies for free. That's the publisher. And so they gave me 3 copies to give away to loyal readers. And so if you're interested, I got 3 of those to give away as gifts from me and Ignatius Press. And then the final book that I have for a giveaway is The Idea Machine. This is written by Joel Miller. Again, a trend here, another author that I met on Substack. Joel has an excellent publication, which I recommend you subscribe to. I linked to an article that he wrote about this book. I haven't done a review of it yet. I've read it. It's excellent. It's basically a history of the book and how it influenced ideas and became a method of transmitting ideas across time. So check out the paragraph in this essay today about how to apply for any of the three of those that you might be interested in. And so then that's the giveaways. I also, the final thing, I have literally thousands of these Beyond the Bookshelf bookmarks. Uh, I will send them to you for free if you just shoot me your name and mailing address. Anybody can have them. I'll send you 5 or 10, however many you want. You can use them for yourself, hand them out to friends, whatever the case might be. There's a little QR code on the back for people to be able to sign up to read a publication. But just shoot me a note, message, comments, email, and I'll get you some of those in the mail. So what's coming up here in January? This month, our Deep Reads Book Club begins a new year. Last year we did Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey, which was amazing, but it was a lot of work. And so this year we're doing something a little different. This year we're doing a themed approach. It's called Roots and Wings. I put a link to that here in this week's essay, so that you can see the article that explains all the details about that. You can read through it again. You can see the books that we've got planned for the whole year. But our book for January is Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. So this is the first one. The books in January, February, and March are establishing the roots. And if you read the essay that I wrote, you kind of get a better idea of what that's all about. But this is establishing the roots on our journey through the year. And so Baldwin is going to be a continuous theme. In each of the 4 seasons, we will read one of Baldwin's books. And this is the first of those. So if you're joining along with the book club, hopefully you got a copy. And that essay book club discussion will be out at the end of the month. Okay. And then I have an essay series coming out called The Age of Noise. It's going to be a 4-part series over the next few months. The first essay will be out here in just a few days, here at the beginning of the month. It's titled The Drowning Mind. And this is a topic that I've become very interested in over the last couple of years. As I talked about Peko and Ruth, in the machine age and all of that, I've realized that there's just a lot of noise in our lives, and I'm talking, yes, about actual noise that we hear, but also distractions. And so you'll get a 4-part series of my personal thoughts. I've been reading for the past few months quite a few different books and references and resources talking about this topic, and I've put together this 4-part series, which I hope that you enjoy. It's been a labor of love, but something that has been really and critically important to me. So the first one of those will be out here in January. This month also starts, since it's the first month of 2026, I'm starting my personal reading project, which I announced a few weeks ago. It's an in-depth autodidactic study of the U.S. Civil War, and that's going to start. Phase 1 will start off with the impending crisis, 1848 to 1861, by David Potter. You're welcome to join along with me to do this read along if you want. I've selected 40 books that I'm going to read over the course of a year to get a really detailed understanding of the U.S. Civil War and how it came about, how it developed, the aftermath, and the reverberating implications of it in today's society. And so what it's meant to our nation to really have this major civil war that took place in the 50s, 60s. And so I linked to that article as well, so you can see all the books I've selected, pick and choose. If you want to tag along with some of them, I will probably write about a few of them along the way, or I might combine several books together to kind of write about a different period of time. But that's a personal project, and it's not part of the book club, but anyone's welcome to kind of tag along or use that template for your own reading resources if you'd like. Final thing I wanted to share with you before I close here today is just, I want to celebrate other people. I read an essay recently, an interview, which themed Substacker David Roberts talked with Cafe Ann about how he was spending $28,000 a year on Substack subscriptions. And David was an early subscriber to my publication just within weeks after I went live. And getting those early paid subscribers meant the world to me and gave me a confidence boost and encouraged me to continue writing and just seeing that there were people out there who believed in what we were trying to do, what I was trying to do. Now, not everybody can subscribe at the level that David does. He has spoke frequently about his wealth, and he has the money to do that. Not all of us have the means to do that. I personally subscribe to maybe about 10 different Substacks as a paid subscriber because that's what I can personally afford. But another way that I have chosen to support writers that I encounter on Substack is by purchasing their books. And you notice the three books that I was giving away, they were all by Substack authors. And so, that's one way that I've been able to support. But I wanted to share with you some other books that I have purchased over the last couple of years by Substack authors, and you may also find them interesting. My good friend Tiffany Chu, we've met a couple of years ago on Substack. She no longer writes on Substack. I believe she's writing through the Ghost platform now. But this is a collection of her essays called The Untangling, and really good. And most of her essays were published on Substack. I believe you can find them on her publication still. That's an excellent read. One of my favorite books that I read this year was In Judgment of Others by Eleanor Anstruther. This book is just absolutely superb. Really gets into some excellent discussions about mental health, but altogether just a good, intriguing story. Highly recommend you get your hands on a copy of that book. I was honored to be sent a copy of The Unmapping by Denise Robbins. This book kind of blew my mind. A really, really good read. And I enjoy science fiction. I enjoy dystopian novels. I enjoy books that are kind of outside the box. And this one's outside the box. The premise was something I had never encountered before in any book that I've ever read. And basically, the city of New York and other places as well, the geography starts to move every so often. And so that's why it's called unmapping, because the streets and the buildings and everything, they move overnight. And when you wake up in the morning, you may not be where you thought you were. So really good, fun read. I couldn't put it down. Definitely recommend getting yourself a copy of that one and subscribing to Denise's Substack. It's really excellent. Starter Dog by Rona Maynard. Rona and I met a couple years ago and have been friends here on the platform. My dog Lola looks almost identical to her dog Casey, this is a memoir about her life with Casey. And so really excellent. I highly recommend this book if you're a dog lover or just a people lover, um, and recommend signing up to read Rona's Substack as well. I'm not a poetry reader. As most of you probably know, I struggle with poetry at times, but this collection of poetry was absolutely superb. Joshua Dolezal, his good friend here on the Substack platform. Someday Johnson Creek is his short collection of poems that he wrote over a number of years while he was working um, in the American West, the Pacific Northwest, and that part of the country, working in our national forests and other things, I believe. Um, a lot of poetry just about relationships with nature, and what it means to be in nature and having that longing for connection with the natural world. This is a really good collection, and like I said, I don't read a whole lot of poetry, but this one I really enjoyed a lot. Kathleen Waller, an interpreter in Vienna, she serialized this on Substack, and then as a you can order it in a print version as well. Uh, Fun, enjoyable read, highly recommended. I wish Kate would publish more often on Substack, but I know she's got a busy life and is doing a lot of different things. She's an excellent writer and highly recommend. Another collection of poetry. Can't see that too well. I don't know. It's called Mining the Bright Birds by Jody Collins. I don't know that Jody's on Substack anymore, but she was when I first started. She wrote a poetry publication, and she and I became friends, and she's helped me with some of my editing and different things. I really enjoyed this slim volume of poetry as well, and would definitely recommend it to you. Becoming Little Shell by Chris Latreille. Chris is an excellent writer. I think he's the poet laureate from Montana. Um, he's a Métis Indian, and this uh, book is his or memoir biography. Uh, I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed Chris's publication. Uh, he's an excellent poet, uh, but this here is memoir and describes how uh, he and his people established themselves, and got a name for themselves as a recognized tribe. As someone who doesn't really like poetry a whole lot, I got a whole lot of poetry collections here, right? Girl Soldier and Other Poems by Lisa Leibs. Uh, Lisa just recently published this. Just came out in the last couple months. She writes an excellent publication uh, on Substack. Uh, Very intelligent, insightful individual. I enjoy reading her thoughts, and her collection of poetry was interesting. So I would highly recommend it if you are a poetry person. Get your hands on a copy of that as well. These next two probably don't need me to push them, but I'm going to anyway because while these people did not make their name on Substack, they are on Substack now and have been amazing members of the Substack community. So this year, uh, I read this book a while ago, but it's also going to be part of our Roots and Wings uh, journey in the book club. Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. Um, Sherman is just, one of those guys who is completely real, open, honest. He's out there on Substack. He's publishing all the time. He interacts with readers. Publishes a lot of poetry. Really enjoyed just hearing his thoughts and seeing him engage with the community, and knowing that a well-known and respected author um, is willing to get out there and be a part of such an amazing community as Substack. And then another legend on Substack, who doesn't need any introduction by me, uh, Ted Gioia, and the history of jazz. Got this recently sent to me by a reader, and I'm very excited about this. This will be on my 2026 reading list as I begin to learn more of the details and intricacies about the genre of music that I really love. So I'll have links to all of those books in today's article. And so if you're interested in picking up copies of any of them, I'd highly encourage you to do so. And like I said, please go and subscribe to those authors and support them in any way that you can. You know, whether that is just by reading their work and sharing it and restacking it, sharing it with other readers, whether you have the ability to become a paid subscriber at some level, or whether you can purchase uh, their book and support them in that way. There's a lot of ways that we can celebrate the creative spirit of other people, uh, and I would encourage you to do so. You know, there's also a lot of people on Substack who are not just writers, but there's other artists. Um, I've purchased artwork from some of my favorite artists, photographs, things like that. So just encourage you, you know, as much as possible, to support people at that local small level. I consider Substack to be kind of, you know, a small community, even though it's growing a lot. Um, just continue to support the small guy or gal who are writing, who are in the trenches, who are giving their all, their heart to their work, and you know, maybe that like or that share or you buying a copy of their book will make a huge difference in their life and in their world. So that's what we got for Charting January. Appreciate your time and look forward to hearing from you and talking to you over the month. Take care. All the best.